In this week's episode of One Piece, the epic battle between Doflamingo and Law will shatter all expectations. And that's the truth, because they do not fight this week. Instead, you're gonna get a Dressrosa history lesson. Enjoy! But first, check this out. You don't need a fancy suitor to work at a Fortune 500 company to look like the Monopoly guy. You just need a shitty hat and a monocle to make that happen. But if you want to look like a boss, then check out the Executive Razor from Dollar Shave Club. It has 6 high-quality stainless steel blades and a moisturizing strip. And you can check it out at dollarshaveclub.com/SKG. Shave time, shave money, and look like a sexy motherfucker doing it. Okay, this episode was not that bad. A lot of important information was revealed this week. In particular, we finally got to learn the identities of 2 mysterious characters. The thing is, it was painfully obvious who they were before, especially if you were watching the entire Dressrosa arc. But it is welcome to see it officially confirmed that the Berserker Gladiator is King Riku, and that the toy soldier is actually Rebecca's father, the legendary warrior, Kyros. Even with this official confirmation, I'm not really blown away too much. However, I did like some small bits about Dressrosa's history. Most of it was told by the Tontada tribe, and I love how they brought up the original Don Quixote king. Obviously, this is where Doflamingo gets his namesake from, and this guy looks like he is pure raw evil. He's basically the demise to Doflamingo's Ganon, if you will. However, the thing that most intrigues me about this week's episode is when all these characters are hanging down in the toy pit, and all of these characters start kneeling down to the original King Riku and all the toys, which in a way is kind of creepy, and I don't know what it is, but it's just something about toys coming to life. It's always very disturbing to me. I love that it looks like that one Mr. Miyagi Fishman guy looks like he's working with a third party, and he's talking to this one girl who looks familiar, but I can't put my finger on it on who she is. And I just think that's awesome because they're constantly introducing new characters, and I didn't expect that that one Fishman guy was going to end up being very important, but it looks like he's planting the seeds for something pretty awesome! We also get to see what's happening to the prisoners who are in the toy pit, and they're actually systematically being picked up by this big, nasty jizz thing that just picks them up and pulls them into this room where Treble is, and they actually get turned into toys. And that's crazy. I guess Treble is the one who actually does this and transforms them into toys, and he actually transforms that one guy into one of those like little cymbal monkeys. But I think we can all agree the best thing about this week's episode is when Bartolomeo ran into Luffy, had a complete fanboy-gasm, and couldn't control his shit. And when he saw Luffy, he pictured him as one of the most effeminate forms of the character I've ever seen. It looks like DeviantArt Nightmare. In any case, it was really funny. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of One Piece? Is okay. Definitely not my favorite episode of Dressrosa arc. It was important. There were some details here that are important if you're trying to follow the series, like the identities of some characters, and if you couldn't connect the dots before, here they are for you laid out on a silver platter. There were some cool developments, like the fact that you learn that Dressrosa had some close ties with some of the other kingdoms. You get to see that he actually had a good connection with Elisabello, the boxing king, and a lot of those other guys. And some of them are even turning on Rick, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that Doflamingo sort of like slandered their entire family name. And we still don't even know like the full details of the like Dressrosa massacre. I'm guessing that's what I'm going to call it from this point on. But other little details that were cool, getting to see like Treble pull in people and turn people into toys, that's another cool confirmation. And the Bartolomeo scene was very funny. And I loved when they were going to the Tontada Kingdom and they were telling the whole backstory about Don Quixote and with King Riku. There was Frankie, who was just totally sobbing like an idiot the whole time because he thought King Rick was so friggin' awesome. Just, that was funny. Just, you know, typical One Piece stuff that we expect. Otherwise, I'm just really hoping we get back to the Doflamingo Law fight because it's just so incredibly awesome, and they didn't even address it this week. Nothing of that. And even the whole thing with Bartolomeo and Luffy, like, they totally just skimmed past that. At the very beginning of the episode, Luffy just ends up running right past him, and I was really hoping that they would finally get to have, like, a one-on-one session, especially the way last week's episode ended with him running into him for the very first time. Otherwise, this was just an okay episode to me. There were some important details there, but it's the type of episode that I could say maybe you could sort of fast forward through some parts. But that's just me personally. You might love this episode. For you, this might be a 10 out of 10. For me, this week, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Nothing special, nothing great, but if you are following the One Piece series, give this episode a watch. It's definitely got some entertaining moments and some funny bits. Check it out, One Piece fans. Thank you guys for watching my review today. Before you leave, make sure to hit that like button so you can give this video a thumbs up, and make sure to tell me what you thought about this week's episode of One Piece. Who do you think Hack was talking to on the telephone? Who was that mysterious girl? Please tell me your thoughts below, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not already. That way you can see all of our latest anime and manga reviews. You can also follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. I'll put links for all of that in the description box below.
Do you like Amazon.com? I know I do. Corey and I now have an Amazon link in our video description box below. And if you go to it and buy anything through Amazon.com, it will support our channel. So bookmark that link, make it happen, and support our channel without having to do a damn thing.
Another great way you guys can help support our channel is by donating directly through our PayPal link in the description box below. We recommend $2 a month, although this is completely optional. But the best way to go about this is by sneaking into your mom's room and taking $2. This way, she won't even notice. And we won't have to shake you up for all of your lunch money. So guys, that concludes this review today. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.